I'm Bill O'Reilly reporting tonight from Washington. Thank you for watching us. In the Factor follow-up segment tonight, last night we criticized the Pope for not speaking out on the priest pedophilia scandal in America. This morning we woke up and the Pope had made a statement. Of course, we know it wasn't due to us. Here's what he said. As priests, we are personally and profoundly afflicted by the sins of some of our brothers who have betrayed the grace of ordination. The Church shows her concern for the victims and strives to respond in truth and justice to each of these painful situations. But is that enough for the victims of priest pedophilia? Joining us now from Boston is Phil Saviano, who represents Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests. Mr. Saviano was himself abused when he was 12 years old. Your reaction to the Pope's statement?
Good afternoon. It's certainly important that the Pope is addressing this issue, but he's stopping far short of what he needs to say. For example, the big question is, why is this such a problem within the Catholic faith? He doesn't come anywhere near answering that question.
But
what are the roots of the problem?
Mr. Saviano, how would he know? You know, I mean, it's pretty. You can have a theory about it, but it looks to me, and we've done extensive research like this. It looks to me that the cases of pedophilia in the Catholic Church run about 6%, which is where it is in the general population itself. So there's no separation between priests and civilians in this terrible, terrible crime. So what could the Pope say about it?
Well, for example, 6% may not seem like a large number, but in any given instance, for example, the priest in my case, he was a priest for over 30 years, molesting kids from his very first assignment. So one priest over many years can have many, many victims, perhaps 100, 120
Absolutely.
victims.
There's no question about it.
That's part of the problem. The other part is that the Church is wrapped in this very tight web of secrecy, and all of the secrets have to do with sex. One of the biggest secrets is that so many priests are, in fact, child molesters.
But you say so many, I don't know if that's fair. If it's 6%, if it's the same number that it is in the civilian population, you'll write in your fact that these people abuse their powers and they're serial. If they're serial molesters, they cause a tremendous death. But I don't think it's out of proportion to what the general population is. But look, what would you, if I were the Pope, my God, we'd be in big trouble, but what would you say to me? What would you say, what do you want the Pope to do?
Well, first of all, there should be a national, if not an international policy to address this. The way the Church is set up now, each bishop is responsible and reports only to the Pope, so it's up to each bishop to decide how to handle this. Some are doing a better job than others. A good way to start is for the Pope to say, from this point on, whenever there's an allegation presented to a bishop, the priest will be removed from service pending an investigation. The next point is that the investigation should always be done by civil authorities, such as police, who are trained in sorting out criminal matters.
All right, so basically you want a policy where the Pope says any allegation should be turned over to the authorities.
Absolutely.
They should take care of it.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, Cardinal Law, and you were involved because you were making a settlement in the early 90s, and he admits that he made a mistake, all right, that he let this guy Gagan and other priests run around pretty much unsupervised because, you know, some doctor said they were okay. Should Cardinal Law be fired? Do you forgive him for the mistake? What would you do with him?
If I was the Pope?
Yeah.
If I was the Pope, I would remove him. Because, after all, the Cardinal has shown to be very good at protecting criminals and very poor at protecting the children within the Archdiocese. And we're not talking just Father Gagan. There have been over 90 priests that have been reported now to civil authorities, meaning the district attorneys and the Attorney General of Massachusetts. Each of these priests was in service for many, many years. Each priest had many victims.
All right, but I want to put this in perspective, that 90 priests is over a span of about 30 years. It's not just last year and this and that. Absolutely. So you would remove Cardinal Law. Would you remove Cardinal Egan of New York, who he says he didn't do anything wrong in Bridgeport, but the Hartford Courant reports that he did kind of what Law did, move these guys around rather than turn them over to the authorities?
Well, I need to learn more about Cardinal Egan's past. I do know, for example, that in one case there were over 12 people that presented allegations to him about this one particular priest, and he refused to believe them. Yeah. I find that really hard to understand. The other thing is that just a couple days ago, he did come forward with a new policy for the Archdiocese of New York. But again, he's not calling on all allegations to be reported to civil authorities, and I think that's a big mistake. I also think that he should report past allegations as well, because many of these priests Or still,
I'm with you. I'm with you. If the person who was molested or allegedly molested wants it to be reported, then I say yes.
It shouldn't
But there are
matter.
a lot of people, as you know, who don't, and then I would protect their privacy in that regard.
You don't have to reveal the
want.
victim's name, but you can still reveal the name of the offender and let the authorities do an investigation.
But in any investigation, then you'd have to expose the victim who may not want that kind of scrutiny. So there I draw the line. But all right. I mean, I think what you say is logical, and I can't disagree. We're glad the Pope came out at least and made a statement today. Thanks, Mr. Saviano. We appreciate it.